S1. Thanks for joining us today. There's a lot of choices out there for you, all of them inferior to this one, of course. But nonetheless, we do appreciate your patronage. To all our advertisers, so forth, so much love in the room today. Feeling really good about this show. A lot of good things happening. I don't want to get into it right now, but I feel a little bit like the Buffalo Bills right now.
Oh, really?
That's how good.
Riding high. So today's a big day for you.
Why?
Well, your birthday's tomorrow.
Oh, yeah. Birthday's tomorrow. Yeah. They're not as much fun when you get into your 50s. I'm not going to lie to you. I got cracked ribs.
Birthdays.
I got tendinitis.
How are your ribs, by the way?
Actually, today, I've been eating like 2 bananas a day because of potassium.
Right.
And doing smoothies, milk and potassium. I don't know if that matters. So, there's a doctor listening to this that thinks I'm a total idiot. But
You still haven't talked to an actual doctor about it?
No. What's cracked ribs? What's he going to say? He's going to poke him and go, "Does this hurt?" Boom. I'm going to go, yeah.
I mean, but he or she might have a better suggestion for how to approach your rehabilitation process.
I know what doctors say. Get some rest.
Colin, you sound a lot like a lot of people out there today, and I wish more people would talk to doctors. But if you're feeling better, I guess it's working.
Well, my ribs feel a little better today. So we call it the herd hierarchy, and this is our final one of the regular season. Here we go.
Herd hierarchy.
Time is now. Let's go.
The top 10 NFL teams according to Colin. Number 10.
Well, I left a lot of good teams out, but I'm going to give Cleveland number 10. And the reason being is Kevin Stefanski and this offensive line. Now, they have a negative point differential. You're not going to win playoff games with a negative point differential. It's hard to get to the playoffs and have that. And they're the only playoff team of the 14 with that. And so it tells you when they win, it's narrow. When they lose, it's ugly. But their offensive line, which will now be missing their top guard, was the top rated. And I do think they do a good job mostly of masking their bad and young secondary by controlling the line of scrimmage. So they are number 10.
Number 9.
Pittsburgh Steelers, and I've been rough on them all year, but I've always had a rule in the NFL. Here's how you win. Find a quarterback, protect him, and then get players who will attack their quarterback. And the Steelers right now have the fewest sacks taken in the NFL, 14, and yet they have the most sacks, 56, given, meaning they protect their quarterback and they get after yours. Quarterbacks that faced the Steelers this year had a passer rating of 76. That is astounding. So for all the running game issues I have, they protect their quarterback and they sack yours, and that puts them at number 9.
Number 8.
Seattle is a very shaky number 8 and a very shaky number 3 seed. First of all, Russell Wilson, 2 of the last 3 games, under 200 yards passing. They are struggling throwing the football. Worst passing offense in the entire league over the last 3 weeks. Do they snap out of it? I certainly wouldn't want the playoffs to be a place where I find my passing game. Jamal Adams is now dinged up back into the secondary. There's so much I like about this team. I do not like where they're at. I don't like the Rams matchup, which is a ferocious defense, a great coach, and you just beat them a couple weeks ago, so they know exactly what you do. I think this is a possible upset by the Rams this weekend.
Number 7.
A team I haven't shown any love to. Finally, the Colts are in. Here's the thing, is that we know their defense and their coaching's good, but they couldn't really run the football, and that's what they have to do with Phillip Rivers. And with no preseason, it took them forever to figure out their running game. They figured it out in the last month. They've won 6 of 8. They figured out Jonathan Taylor spearheads behind this great offensive line, a running game, and I think this is the key to them, is they take the ball away from Phillip, who's pretty good on scripted plays in the first half, but if you ask him to be dynamic in the second, you're very limited. Jonathan Taylor with no preseason. It took him until November, now into December. In January, I like the Colts at 7.
Number 6.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I am worried because they are 1-5 against playoff teams. We're not very good at night. Maybe Brady goes to bed early. But they are very good against the run. They take big chances defensively. I like that. They're aggressive sometimes to a fault. And you can't deny that Tom Brady is hot. Antonio Brown, remember about 4 or 5 games? We couldn't figure out what he was. They figured out how to integrate him into the offense. When Ronald Jones is healthy, they have a very explosive running back. Brady's got 40 touchdown passes this year, the most in Bucs history. And let's be honest, Bruce Arians and Tom Brady have a lot of playoff experience, and that accounts for something.
Number 5.
Baltimore. Everybody sold their stock. I didn't. 200-plus rushing yards in 4 of their last 5 games. Only team in the NFL that averages more rushing than passing yards. I'm okay with that because they have an identity. They know what they are. This year, they're playing with no pressure. Don't tell me Lamar Jackson, who's younger than Joe Burrow, isn't getting better. He was better in the red zone this year. Every year, Lamar got a little bigger in year 2. Now he's a little better in the red zone. And, every time I show highlights of Lamar Jackson, he's throwing touchdown passes. Don't tell me he can't throw. Doesn't throw like Justin Herbert. He doesn't throw like Kyler Murray. But don't tell me he can't throw. He can, and situationally, I think this team is a nightmare because you cannot duplicate them at practice all week with Lamar's special talent.
Number 4.
Kansas City. My eyes tell me something's not right. Yes, they're 4-0 against playoff teams. So I know they've got the ability to pop. But folks, Mahomes 4 straight games with a passer rating under 100, longest of his career. They're the worst red zone defense. They don't run the ball consistently. And I just don't feel they're playing particularly well right now. There's something doesn't look right to me. And it can be running back health. Mahomes, maybe he's not 100%. There's something not meshing on this offense. They've become very dependent on the big explosive play, and those are harder to get against better teams and coaches and rosters in the playoffs.
Number 3.
Green Bay Packers. They did answer the physicality question this year with Tennessee. They don't beat themselves. They have the fewest giveaways in the NFL. They don't get penalized much. They don't give you the ball, so you have to beat them. And they're a great team with a lead. Because with Aaron Jones and play action, you don't want to fall behind against Green Bay. And frankly, that's what everybody's doing. Because Matt LaFleur, he did it last year as a rookie, and this year too, very good on script. He's very good at dialing up plays and scripting the first 15 of the game, and they take leads, and they're hard to beat because they've got